the 35mm f1.7 from Lido. I tested this lens for the last couple of weeks and now I want to let you know what are my thoughts about this lens and is it good, is it not good, is it worth the price. Hi and welcome here to another video on my channel. At my channel you will find E-mount lenses as well as accessories for all E-mount cameras. So like I said at the beginning, I want to test out the 35mm f1.7 from Lido in this video. I got this lens from Lido for free, but I don't get paid to say what they want. I tell you my own opinion and I will tell you also the positive and the negative things. But at first, let's take a look how it comes packaged. So, here's the box. It is a bit damaged because of my transportation from the US to Germany, but yeah, I hope the lens is well. And at the front you have a little picture of the lens. It says 35mm f1.7 prime from Lido. It has a circular aperture and yeah, that's it. Now I cut the sealing and let's take a look how it comes packaged. Let's open it up, and at first we saw a little black box and this is the lens packaging. Then we have I think some paperwork like every time. In this case yeah, what is it, some kind of warranty instruction manual how you mount this lens on a camera. I think we could put it by the side because we already know how to put it on the camera. Then we have here the quality control pass and a little microfiber glove, which is always nice. So now the box is empty and we could take a look what is inside this little box, and I think this is really nice. It felt very worthy. It's a bit hard, so the lens couldn't get damaged while transportation, and it's more nicer than the normal packaging which the lens came along. So here we have the lens itself. It's a bit stiff, but it's out. So the box inside felt very nice. Yeah, and it's stable like I said, so the lens couldn't get damaged. I really like this one. I really like this way. And yeah, here is the lens itself. I put it out of the little plastic bag and some silica gel is inside as well. So here we have the lens itself. It felt a bit oily or something like that, or it have some, yeah, I don't know what it is. Rear lens cap off, front lens cap off, and then I have the 16 to 50mm kit lens as a size comparison, and you see that it is about the same size. I put off the rear lens cap and it is nearly about the same size. So this is the lens, and I must say the first impression was both good and not so good in one place. It is built fully out of metal, which is very nice, and I like if a lens is built out of metal that feel very worthy, and I like it. The rear lens cap and the front lens cap are out of plastic, and especially the front lens cap felt very cheap. But it's okay, it's only the front lens cap. The first big negative point was the focus ring. And at first I had heavy problems to get from 0.4 until all the way to the closest focus distance, because the ring was so stiff that I also thought, okay, it is only 0.4 to focus. But it wasn't, and I have to play a lot with it that I get it so smooth that I could say, okay, it works. But it have not the same resistance overall. One other negative aspect was that the whole lens felt very oily, like it's oiled before it get packaged, and yeah, I have to clean it at first, but now this is okay, and like I said, the focus ring is okay now, but it's not nice. The form factor is really nice. It is small, but it is a bit heavy because of its all metal build, but because of the size it isn't really heavy, it's only heavier than expected. It have about the same size as the collapsed kit lens, so it's very small. So how is it working with the lens? The aperture ring is clickless and very stiff, so I would like it to be a bit more loose, but it's okay because it's clickless, so you can't bump it by accident. That's why a bit more stiff is okay than a bit too loose. The focus ring is really nice to work with. From I think about 0.5 of a meter to infinity, it's really smooth, but like I said at the beginning, from 0.4 to 0.3 of a meter, it's very hard to focus, also if you play a little and make it a bit loose. The focus scale went from 0.3 of a meter to I think 1 meter, about very large, and then fast to 2 meters, 4 meters and infinity. But it's nice to focus within closer distance, like up to 2 meters, and this is yeah, I think most common focus distance with this lens. The focus ring goes from 1.7 to 8 over a longer distance, and then very fast to f22. But like I said, I think most of the time you will use it about f2.8, f1.7, f4, something like that, so not over f8, so it's no real big issue if you have know exactly the aperture between 8 and 22. The rings are nice separated. Also, if you have some bigger fingers, you could attach them really nice and don't bump the other ring by accident. But all persons who think this lens is rubbish, all the negative aspects I told you, wait until I show you some pics and tell something about the image quality. And exactly this I want to do next, so here are some sample pictures which I shot with this lens. So, what are your thoughts about this lens and the image quality? Let me know down in the comments. In Germany we have a swear word, and to translate it in English, it's about on the outside it's not so good, on the inside it's very good, and this is most exactly this what this lens is. The outside, the focus ring isn't as well, it's oily, it doesn't feel very well, and yeah, but the images, especially if you use it in a special way, are very great. And I think there's one thing to do with this lens, and especially for this lens is built. And this is portraiture photography. So this lens is very sharp if you use it wide open, also at f1.7, but also stop down a bit, and in closer distance from about 2 meters, or a maximum of 2 meters. Very sharp, very nice looking images, nice bokeh. If you stop down it too much, the image gets blurry. If you focus in a further distance, the image gets blurry. But if you use it in a certain way, everything is fine, and the lens is worth the price of 120 bucks. There's only a little fringing appearing if you focus in harsh lighting conditions, but I saw it even worse with more expensive lenses. There's no vignetting going on around the edges, also if you use the lens wide open. The bokeh balls are not really balls, they are more like a hexagon or something like that. So it's okay, but the bokeh could be smoother. But all in all, for an APS-C lens, it's very good. And also if the bokeh doesn't get blurry enough at f1.7, you can put a longer distance between the subject and your background, then the bokeh gets blurrier all in all, so it doesn't matter. But Also, with a closer distance to the background, you get a nice separation of your subject with this lens at f1.7. So all in all, what is my conclusion? It is nice that it built out of metal. It has some issues like the focus ring, like the oil. But all in all, I would think if you are searching for a lens for portraiture photography, you could stick with this lens. If you search for a lens for something like an everyday use, then this lens wouldn't be nice because it's very limited into the kind of photography where you could use it. If you are only take photos of subjects with within 2 meters from the lens and at wide open aperture, then you could also stick with the lens as an everyday lens. But if you are searching for a real everyday lens for a bit landscape, for a bit of building, city photography, whatever, then this lens isn't the right one for you, then maybe you could consider the 28mm from Meike, which is really nice. I was in Norway before a few weeks and I had it on my camera nearly all the time and I made some really nice pictures with it. So as an everyday lens in Meike, 28mm would be a better choice. But if you want a good portraiture lens, then you could stick with this lens. So this was my review. What are your thoughts about this lens? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, then I'm finishing and we see you next time with another E-mount lens or E-mount accessory. See you then.